This video is going to be part review, part tutorial, part explainer, I guess. And I'm talking about hosting that is super high performance, yet super affordable and flexible to work with. And there are a ton of WordPress specific features with this type of hosting. It's a little technical, but once you get the hang of it, you're going to find it's quite easy. They have 24 hours, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. That's right, support available for you as well. And it just so happens to be the hosting company that my website, WPCrafter, has been on for the last year and a half. And it's been a pretty good experience. So what I want to do in this video is talk to you about Cloudways. And now I'm going to explain how Cloudways works, how it's different from other types of hosting. I'm also going to share my personal experiences using it. And then I'm going to create an account and show you how to work around in it. It's got some really great features specific for WordPress users, which makes this a great hosting company to consider. But it's a different type of hosting, and there's definitely some pros and cons that I want to cover in this video. So if that interests you, continue watching. All right, so what I want to do first is try to explain what Cloudways is and why it's a different type of hosting. And then I'm going to tell you how my experience has been with it. So first, let's go here to their website. All right, so it's a different type of hosting. So you have these server hosting companies like Linode, DigitalOcean, Google Cloud, and Amazon, where you can just get a bare metal server. There's no control panel. So what Cloudways is, it's that control panel that configures that server for you. And then you get support as well. All these things you don't get if you go direct. So if I was to, I'm on their website right here. If I was to click on the pricing tab, what's very interesting is you choose where you want that cloud server to be. Do you want it on DigitalOcean, Linode, Vultr, and of course you can pay a premium and have that server on Amazon or on Google Cloud Hosting. Now, you don't actually go to these companies to get the server. You pay Cloudways, and Cloudways pays them. So let's just go ahead, and because I've always wanted to do this, I have like a little draw thingamajigger here now, which is pretty cool. So this is how Cloudways works. So there's Cloudways right here, and you are their customer. Okay, so you pay Cloudways whatever plan that you choose. And what's nice is it's a scalable plan. So when we were looking right here at the different server options, you can choose the one based on resources that you anticipate needing. So if you started out with the $10 a month, but you realized you needed more resources because your website's getting more traffic or because you are hosting more websites, you can click a button and then jump up a tier. That's how that works. So you choose the plan that you want with Cloudways. You pay Cloudways. You log in to manage everything through Cloudways. But then Cloudways goes ahead and orders that server, let's just say with DigitalOcean, D-O, I'm getting used to this. So Cloudways takes what you pay them, and then they pay the cloud hosting company for the service that you're getting from them. So that's kind of how it works. This is all new to me, drawing on the screen. I hope you had fun. I was practicing that. Okay, so that's how Cloudways works. Okay, so it's really a control panel, and they have all the support staff there that help manage that control panel for you. Okay, so let's go ahead. I just showed you some of the pricing. I'll tell you right now that for me, WPCrafter, my website, I have it on Vultr right here, and I'm using this $84 per month plan. So I pay for that. Now, one thing that is important to mention right now is that you pay a premium. So if I was to go to Vulture Direct, it's pretty much on average half the price. So if I went to Vulture and I say wanted this $44 a month plan, it's probably $20 if I got it direct. So you might ask yourself, well, why would I pay Cloudways double for something I can go direct and get for half? What you're paying for is the control panel, the WordPress specific features, but mostly you're paying for the support, that you have support that you can go to. If you went to Vulture and purchased this directly, you don't get any support. You don't get a control panel. You just have a command prompt login, something out of war games from 1980s. So if you're comfortable with that, definitely go there. Or you can use something like Cloudways, which also provides WordPress specific features. And I keep saying that WordPress specific features. So let's go ahead, and I hope that explains how it works. So here is their features page, and I would encourage you to take a look at it. So they handle all the security, the firewalls, all of that. You'd be on your own if you went direct. You pay for that. They have a lot of caching features as well to enable your websites to load a lot quicker. They even have a caching plugin. You could run more than WordPress on a server, by the way. And you can obviously have more than one server. I want to get down to those WordPress specific features. So they can have two-factor authentication. What's really interesting is collaboration. You can create accounts for team members that can have limited access to manage aspects of your servers. That's very, very cool. All right, so you get 24/7 live chat support. I've used it, and I'm going to give you a review on that. And they also have a ticket desk as well. There's backup systems. Okay, so I'm not getting to what I wanted to get to is the WordPress stuff. Okay, here it is. Some interesting things here. Staging area and URL. So what this means is, with your traditional hosting, if you want to start working on a website, you have to actually link it up. You go in there and you link up the domain name to your hosting account, and you're working off of that domain name, even though it's going to take you a while to build a website. Well, with Cloudways, when you create a new WordPress install, they give you a temporary URL that you can build everything off of. And then when you're ready to connect the domain name, you just go through a few steps, and then it automatically will change to that domain name. I really like that, so I can have as many test installations as I want, and I'm not using a domain name for that. So that's what they're talking about, this URL. But you also get staging, and what staging is awesome. So say I go through this a lot with my website. I want to test some things on it. But I don't want to do it to the live site because that would be crazy because I have live traffic. So what I do is I click one button, I say make a staging area, and then it will take a clone of the website, make a staging area that's optionally password protected, and they give me that temporary URL again that isn't even linked to my main website URL. So it's totally accessible. You access it differently, and this is a big benefit. And then you could go in there, play around all you want, and you can even push whatever changes back to the live site if you wanted, or click a button and delete that staging area yourself. These are what I'm talking about. There's WordPress specific features. This is how you would test updates if you wanted to test updates prior to doing that in case there's any issues. So we have the ability to transfer servers. So if I get a server and I have a website on here, I can transfer that to another account on Cloudways. That's really good if you wanted to create a website for someone, build it on a server, and then give them that server, and then retain some access if you wanted to afterwards. Okay, so I'm going through these. I'm just going to have to show you everything when I go through it. Now, one of the big negatives for most people when using Cloudways is it doesn't have the ability to host email accounts. So if you are doing this for clients and you also want to host their email, you're going to have to use an external email hosting solution. There's a good reason for that. emails can cause problems sometimes, not all the time. I know I'm going to have someone in the comments saying you don't know what you're talking about. I do know what I'm talking about. Emails can cause a lot of problems, especially in shared hosting. So I used to run into this with a company that I had. I had 30 employees, and it was on a shared hosting account, and they all had email addresses. And so their emails would be configured in Outlook on their computers, and every minute looking for a new email. So what that did is these 30 computers were hounding the shared server, stealing its resources. It caused a lot of problems, and people notoriously have bad email deleting habits, so that storage I was allocated would get wiped out so quick. There's a lot of reasons why you want to keep the two separate. It does come at an additional cost though. Now, they do have an easy solution. For $1 per email address, you can get email addresses through Rackspace through Cloudways. It's a way of getting it very affordably and not having problems. Now, I would say that there's lots of options for where to host your email at. A lot of people that are making websites for clients will encourage those clients to just get email addresses at Google Apps. And here's the thing, if you're a web designer and you're going to have a care package and manage this website for the client, do you want to be in there also being their email troubleshooter? Probably not. You probably just want to have that be separate. You take care of the website, they get that someplace else, and there's this separation. So that's one of the negatives that you're going to come up against if you're used to traditional shared hosting. And depending on your situation, it could end up costing more money, right? If you have a lot of clients and you're hosting their email accounts, it could add up. Anyways, so there's that. And now let me go and share with you my experiences, my personal experiences with Cloudways. They're fantastic. Website's going to run really fast. I've had minimal problems. But see, I'm a different type of user. I don't just have one WordPress website or just WordPress websites. I'm running all kinds of stuff on my Cloudways account, and I have had issues from time to time. It's really only been an issue 3 times, and I've reached out to support via live chat. Now, some live chat reps have been super helpful and have jumped in and tried to solve the problem and took that drive and initiative that you would hope. I mean, I'm paying $80 a month, $85 a month. I've gotten some support reps that haven't been as eager or interested, almost like they're having like 25 different live chats open with people and talking to everyone at the same time. And when you're in the pressure cooker of something being down or there being a problem, the emotions kind of run wild, and the going from 0 to 100 in irritability happens really fast. And I've experienced that as well. So, but I was thinking the other day, is it just me, or is there some improvements they can make? I'm sure there's some improvements they can make on their support process, but I think part of it is actually me. I also have hosting at SiteGround, among other hosts, and everyone rants and raves about how excellent SiteGround support is. But my experience with SiteGround support has been not that at all. So I think part of it, I'm just having a self-confession, could be me, that maybe I'm difficult to support because I'm very technical at times, and I might think faster and know a little bit more than the person that's trying to support me, except they have the access to do what I need, what I'm unable to do to solve the problem myself, if that makes sense. So the support has been fine, but there's probably some areas where they can improve with that. I can say though, in that year and a half, they keep adding feature that interests me and is useful to me after feature. So when I started using them, they did not have this staging feature, which I love now. They did not have that before, and now they have it. It's fantastic, and I don't have to pay anything additional for it. I'll tell you though, some days I look and I think, man, I'm paying $85 for something that I could maybe pay less someplace else, maybe save $20 a month. But then I might like be looking a little bit, but then what I always come back to is I really need that insurance. I need to pay that premium. It's an insurance policy to be able to click a button, live chat someone to get help when I need it. And even if I only use it one time a year, that one time a year is going to be worth it to me with downtime. But like I said, on the other pricing here, on the lower plans and the plan that most people would probably end up having, you don't pay as high of a premium as I'm paying right now for the, because I have a much larger server that I have a lot more resources. So I'm paying like a $40 premium on it, $44 premium, where if you're on the $20 plan, you're paying like a $10 premium or something like that. And it's totally worth it. Now, you would be surprised on some of these lower servers how much you can fit on it. I mean, you can fit a lot of websites on these lower plans, and you can easily bump it up, add a different server, push apps between servers. There's so much flexibility. So right now, if you're interested in Cloudways, visit WPCrafter.com/Cloudways, and from time to time, they give me a discount that I can give to you. I will put that in the video description box here on YouTube. And if you're watching this on my website, I'll have that down below as well. I think it'll just get you a discount on the first 2 or 3 months. Maybe if more people visit the link and subscribe, start using the service, maybe I could twist their arm to get a bigger discount eventually. Okay, so that is Cloudways. So now I'm going to go ahead and set up an account. So after I go ahead, I've got like 3 accounts already, but that's all right. I'm going to set up a fresh account. Now, when you set up an account, what's going to happen is you're going to choose the provider you want and then the plan you want. And what's nice is they give you a free trial. I think it's 5 days. I could be wrong because it's changed in the past. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and fill this out. So I've gone ahead and filled it out. At this point, you would choose, if I give you a promo code, if I do end up having one down below. Currently, you would click right here and put it in. So I'm going to start this trial for free, and it's just going to take a minute to create. All right, so let's go ahead and see what this is saying. It's asking me to confirm the email, so I'll go do that now. Okay, so I've gone ahead and confirmed the email, and it automatically logged me back in. And so first thing what we're going to do is I'm going to click on Get Started, and here it is. It's going to give me this option to choose the server. One of these. Now I would suggest Vulture's been fine. You're going to be actually fine with all 3 of these. So DigitalOcean looked like to be the least expensive. So let me go ahead. I'll get the lowest size possible, and then right here it confirms the price right now. So I'll go ahead and then choose your location. This is another consideration. Your cloud server is going to be in the region that you want it to be. And look at all these different regions right here. And each one of these will probably provide you different regions that are available. So if I wanted to go to Vulture, we probably have more USA options and Asia options as well. So that's one of the benefits. And I'm not sure if there's a price difference for some locations. That is possible. So for me, I'm going to go ahead and choose San Francisco. Why not? Let me make that go down. And then I'm going to click on this button right here that says Launch Now. Okay, so now what it's doing is it's giving me a little bit of an onboard. Right here's where you can ask for help. And this is where you can click on live chat to get your live chat support. So what it's doing is it's now provisioning the server. It's just going to DigitalOcean. It's grabbing the server. It's setting everything up for me. And it says right here it's going to take about 7 minutes to set this up. So I'll go ahead and wait out this 7 minutes. And then we'll come back and I'm going to show you around Cloudways. And just like that, I have a new cloud server where Cloudways is connected to it. Now, this is actually really nice right here. It's a video that's going to show you a plugin that they have that you can plug into your existing WordPress website on a different host. And when you activate it, you could push that website into Cloudways, and it's very simple to use. I've used that before. All right, so here's my server, and when I click on it, it takes me into the server where, and I'm getting a little onboarding thing, where you have different options here to manage your server. So there's your servers, and then these servers have applications in them. So each server gets its own IP address. We're going to need that when it's time to make a website work with your domain name. You have username and password. I like the convenience where I can just click on something here and it will copy it. So we have monitoring options right here, so you can see how much CPU your server's using, how much free disk you have, how much memory it's using up. You have all these app options right here. Then right here, you can manage the services that are on the server. So this is where it gets a little bit technical, but you don't have to worry about it too much. I rarely have to come in here, but for those that are technical, you can restart Apache, your MySQL database, Varnish. You can disable Varnish. I suggest disabling Varnish. You can do all of that. Okay, here's your settings and packages. This is really nice because you now have like direct access to these settings. So for the packages, this is interesting. So if you wanted to change the PHP version, for example, it has PHP version 7. I can click on this little pencil and I can increase it to the highest version they have, which is 7.2. Click on save, and then I'll click on OK, and it will go ahead and push it up to that level for me. I probably shouldn't have done that in this video, but you get the same option to do that with MySQL. You can enable Elasticsearch, Redis. I might be pronouncing that wrong. That is a certain type of caching that I should do a separate video on because I use it on my website. So let me just wait till this package gets updated. Okay, so now I'm updated. I got to stop doing that in the middle of these videos. But you get control over all of that, and then you get some advanced settings right here that you have full control over. What's nice, if you're not a technical person, that's okay. You can reach out to their support and they can make these adjustments for you on your setting, on your server. Okay, so we got some security options right here as well. We've got scaling. This is where if you wanted to upgrade the size of your server, you can just do this and it will, obviously you're going to pay a little bit more for the next bump up, but you can just log in here and do it yourself when you're ready. You can have entire server backups. You can enable that right here as well. And then this is where you would set it up for sending outbound emails. Okay, so another thing that you should always remember with Cloudways is this little circle on the bottom right here. When you hover over it, this is how you can restart your server. So a lot of times if I've had a problem, and I actually just had this a couple days ago, I use Uptime Robot to let me know when my website's down. And so my website was down. I didn't know what was wrong. I didn't care. I just came in here and did a restart, and then it was fine. That's a very rare occurrence, but that actually did happen just the other day. Okay, so that's the server settings that you have, but what you're going to do is you're going to click right here where it says applications, and it installed this by default right here. They installed WordPress for me. Now this right here is one application, and this is where you're going to see a list of them, and you can organize them by project, and then you can create user accounts and assign permissions based on projects as well. Now if you look off to the right of an application, there's an icon here that will take you to that website. Actually, here, let's just click it right now and see what happens. Takes me right on in here, and this is WordPress. So let me show you how you get your login information. But there's a little handlebars here, the 3 dots, and when you click on this, this is how you get to delete an application. When you delete it, it's done. Or you can clone it and create a staging area, and we're going to do that in this video as well. So what I'll do now is I'm going to create a new application just so you can see how that happens. So there's this button right here. I'll click on that, And then first thing is I choose the server. So if I have multiple servers, this is where you would choose the server you want it on. I just have this one. You can change the name from your server to what you want. Then I'm going to click Add Application, and now it's going to give me the option to choose the application right here. So there's a lot to choose from. It can be WordPress, the latest version, or with WooCommerce, or already configured for multi-site, or a WordPress installation that doesn't have their caching plugin installed on it already, which is this clean version here. We've got PHP, Laravel, Magento, Drupal. So remember I said you can use this to install a variety of ththings. Well, this are the variety of things right here. So what I'll do, just so you can see what it's like, I'll install version 5.0.3, this WooCommerce one right here. Then I'm going to give it a name, and this is where you could put it in projects to organize your apps if you want. So I named it Cart Flows. I'll click on Add Application, and it's going to, you see right here it says adding application. It usually takes about a minute or so for it to add an application. Now once it adds this application, I'm going to show you how you can find your WordPress installation and all the settings specific to this application. Okay, so when it's done, you're back here where your server is. So I'm going to click on Applications again. It shows my two apps right here. And then here's the one that I just created. I will click on it, and now it's going to take me into the application settings. So let me click on Got It. And so here you're going to see this is that temporary URL. So I could start building the website on this URL right here. I can start building out my website, and then when I'm ready to link up the domain name, I'll show you how that's done. Okay, but then here is the link to log in. Here's the username, and here's the password. And this is where I like the click to copy those credentials. So I can click right here. Then I'll click there to actually log in. And then right here, I can just go ahead and paste in my email address. And then I can go back. I can copy my password. And I can come here and do the same thing right there. Do a remember me. And here we go. I'm all logged into a fresh installation of WordPress right here. And that's all there was to it. So now you can start building out your website. Here's a power user. You could set up an app in here. For example, this one, and get it all set up as kind of like your starter site. So you got your themes in there, your plugins you use on projects and all of that, and then just save this. And when you want to make you have a new project, you want to do a new website, instead of starting fresh, you could just clone this application and start with everything installed and all set up for you. Okay, so that's just a little power tip right there. But you have all this right here, and you have direct access to the MySQL database if you needed it. Okay, so here's the domain management. So I'll put a link in the video description box down below to this article. It's basically instructions on how to link in your domain name. You would do this when you're ready for that, to point that domain name from wherever it's registered to Cloudways. It's super easy. They even have a video. Essentially, you need to take the IP address of the server, and you need to modify a DNS record. And they have instructions for 3 of the most commonly places to register domain names. Actually, I don't know why DreamHost is in there. I register all my domain names at Namecheap, but people use GoDaddy, Namecheap. So for me, I would click right here, and it would tell me exactly what I need to do in Namecheap. It's like, it takes 2 seconds. So it's not hard at all. It's just following a few steps. And I'm sure their support could help you with that. Then you just pop the domain name in here, click on Save Changes, and then boom, it just works. As long as you've done that DNS change, it just works. Okay. And then here is for cron jobs. This is a little on the technical side, but you have the ability to put those in here. To add an SSL certificate, I love this. This works fantastic. Just go and pop your domain in here, and you're ready to go. You're going to have an SSL certificate by clicking one mouse click. You don't pay additional monies for this. Now, it's lots of places give free SSL certificates, so it's not something to get as excited about as it was maybe 2 years ago. Okay, so here you can restore from a backup. Deployment via Git. This is going to be great for developers out there. You have specific application settings. So if I wanted to have varnish on the server, but not specifically in this application, I have that option to do that right here. And you have some specific settings specifically for this. Then here's the migration tool right here. This would be the plugin. So you don't need them to migrate it for you, but I think they'll migrate like one site for you or something like that. You can use this one plugin. It's going to be super easy. This is interesting. They have a CDN, Content Delivery Network, and I made a video on content delivery networks. Now, because I'm on a trial account, I can't add it, but if I wasn't, I could add it. And what it is you're going to pay $1 per month, and that gets you 25 gigabytes of content delivery network traffic to download the assets on your website. And then if you go over the 25, it charges you another $1. That's per app. Bunny CDN, which I used in that tutorial video on CDNs, is going to be cheaper. I started using this. It's a good deal actually for a quality CDN, but Bunny CDN's a lot cheaper. So you could spend maybe 10 cents on that, and here it would be $1. Anyways, because you spend $1 whether or not you use the 25 or not. Okay, getting too much into it. Okay, so there we have it. I can change the name of this app. I can just go right here and change it. If I misspelled something, I can do that really easy. And we have all these different things here for you to click. And even when we are, let me get back into that app, there's also options right here that are a little different with having an app. So if I hovered here, you can see now I have the option to delete, clone, or add an app right from here. So if I wanted to clone this, I could just click a button and do that right here. Let's take a look at team right here. So you can add team members for managing, being able to log in here and manage things related to certain parts of your account. You get permissions. And like I said, you can organize everything in projects. Now, there's also some add-ons that I was telling you about. Let's take a look at those. So I'm going to click right here. It says add-ons. So DNS made easy. It's a little technical. I use Cloudflare for my DNS, so it's a little more than I want to talk about in this video. Rackspace email. So if I wanted to get the emails through Cloudways, but from Rackspace, I can click right here. It gives me a little pop-up right here, and I can start adding emails to the account. Elastic Email, what this is, it's like a transactional email sending service similar to Amazon SES. So you can pay a little extra to get those as well, or you could use something like Amazon SES, which is what I use. They'll migrate for you. You can order migrations. They will upgrade apps. You can pay and have them do that. And then, of course, right here is that Content Delivery Network add-on that I was talking about. Okay, let me show you the staging. Okay, so here's my website. Say I want to create an area that I can just screw around with things, destroy things, and it's all okay. So I'm going to go to the little handlebar right here. I'll click on Clone App to Staging. And then here you can select your server, so I can clone it to a different server if I wanted to. I'll just click here. Now, cloning is different from staging. Cloning is where I was saying you can create one WordPress install, put all your plugins and themes and everything, and have it be kind of your starter site for new projects, okay? In that situation, you would want to clone it, and it would be its own and have its own domain and own SSL certificate. Staging is different. It's going to be where it's a clone, but it's going to still be linked to that other application so that you could push the changes back. All right, so I'm going to click on Create Staging, okay, and I'll click on Submit. I probably should have explained that while it was actually creating. So when you saw it creating the website, the application that I chose, it's going to do the same thing to create this staging. We just need to give it 2 minutes to do its thing. Okay, staging is done. So now let's get back into applications, and you can see we have cart flows and we have staging cart flows, and it's staging and it has this badge on it right there. So now when I click on it, there's going to be some different options. So right here it says password protected. I can password protect this staging area. So if someone randomly had the URL to it, which would be virtually impossible, I could still password protect it while I'm just jacking things up. And if you don't have that on, then you can just log straight on into it. It's going to be the same everything from the site that you just cloned. It's just going to be the same login, same everything. Okay, now that's done. and you get a unique temporary URL that you can work off of. I just love their staging feature. Now here's an option that says staging management. This was not there when we were looking at the normal app. And check this out. So you can copy the data from staging to live. So if you created the staging, you made some adjustments and you want to then push that to your live website, well, right here you can just push it right on over. But if you have staging and you made some changes and you kind of want to reset, all you have to do is click on pull. Or if you made a staging and you made it a month ago and there's been lots of changes on the live website, you can refresh it all by doing a fresh pull. And that's pretty much all there is to staging here as well. So last thing would be to delete an application. Super easy to do that. I'm going to click on the handlebars. I'm going to click on delete. Now, deleting's permanent. Yeah, so they give you this prompt here. You have to type delete in all caps to actually delete. Okay, I've gone ahead and done that. I'm going to click on submit. Then what it's going to do, it's going to kick me back here. It's going to take 2 minutes. It's going to wipe the app right off of the server. So this in a nutshell is Cloudways. It's a great service, and I'm using it for a lot of my websites, and especially my most important websites. It's been fantastic. I like that there's WordPress specific features. I like that they have niched down and built these features for WordPress users. And I like how when I reach out to the live chat support, you say you need something with WordPress, they're not like, huh? You know, they know what WordPress is. They know how to work in WordPress. This is what they do. And so I like that specialty that they're giving you, and I'm not opposed to the price. I do pay a lot of money. I pay $85, and it's fine for me. It's fine for me. Now, you might have noticed in this video, I didn't do a speed test. Why? Because it's going to give you the fastest speeds pretty much humanly possible. Hands down, obviously I didn't put a website in. It's lightning quick. These are dedicated resources to you. You're not on some shared server where all the resources are shared with everyone that are on that server. And if some website's doing crazy things, you suffer. No, these are dedicated resources for you and for your websites. Anyways, Cloudways, the link, WPCrafter.com/Cloudways. I have a bonus offer, of course, as I usually do with that. So you can check that out as well. Try to get that discount code, put it in the video description box down below. A couple things I want you to be wary of, though, with Cloudways. Number one, be careful with varnish. It's a little technical. I just turn it off, especially if you have WooCommerce. Just be very careful with varnish. I like to turn varnish off, but I like that Redis. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. I love that. I need to make a video on that to show people how to use that. You have to change some things. So that's all that I have for you in this video. What do you think of Cloudways? Let me know in the video description box below. Please remember, thumbs up helps me out. Subscribe, click on the notification bell so you know when I got new stuff out like this for you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.